Hey guys, welcome to the Talk Show. Pleasant to see everyone. Thanks for joining.
Likewise.
I'm excited about this. This is a great opportunity, a chance to like just chat with fellow cartoonists and creatives like yourselves. We just have such great like conversations like in person, and you guys have tremendous work. So this is going to be fun. I'm
Thank
chatting
you.
today with Matt and ACHIRU and James and
Hello.
Hello.
and they are the lovely team behind some awesome books that I'm a fan of. Matt, you have written Quest for Hire, written and illustrated, right?
That's written,
And
illustrated. Yeah.
yeah, and James, your base colors.
Yeah, I'm colors, and then sometimes I'll throw in my 2 cents for compositions and things too. So.
Yeah. And ACHIRU, you do the edit and touch-ups for the book?
Yep. The icing on top of the cake.
Yes.
Right,
That's a
right.
good way to put it.
My job is to make it extra pretty.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. This
So,
was,
like,
it's essential.
Color correction, proportion correction. Those are things that most people don't notice, but if you put it side by side to then you can kind of see the work that I do.
Yeah, you see the tremendous difference there, right?
Yeah.
And ACHIRU, you do the Mann and Lucky Channel, right?
Yes, yeah, that's the main comic that I'm known for right now. The recent work that's in production.
Right, and you've gone up to about 17 volumes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, so
Is that
we
correct?
have 17 volumes in print right now. You can find it on my website at achiru.com/books or achiru.com/ebooks for the digital version. And you
Which
can
is
also find the
fantastic.
issues. Yeah, issues of Quest for Hire are also up on my website as well. You can get
Yeah,
issues
that's not the one.
1 to 7. Yeah.
I have some
Old
Yes.
ones.
There we go.
Yes, you can purchase
There we
those
go.
too at achiru.com.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah.
Ooh, ah.
I have a whole bunch like right next to
Yeah,
me here.
the
So
show's got
Oh,
the whole
thank you.
collection.
whole bunch.
Mhm.
Good collection of stuff.
Beautiful,
Aw.
beautiful.
Oh,
Thanks, man.
guys. Shucks.
Well, it's fantastic work, and
thank you.
I was immediately like attracted to both books, just like even just for the art itself, which is really cool. I think that's it's not easy like standing out in the world of comics and indie comics, but I think you guys do a wonderful job. So yeah, I just wanted to. I have some questions here for everyone.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right, just a chance for those who are tuning in, a chance to get to know who you are and what you're about. So yeah, I want to ask everyone just like if you could tell me a little bit about yourself, maybe a bit of a backstory, kind of like the origin story.
Yeah, so
each
while
person.
Matt and James does that, I'm just going to tend to our dog. She is barking at me right now.
Totally.
Just general backstory of just
sure.
do you mind
I guess like let's say your educational background, or if there's anything like that you'd like to share.
Sure thing. So I guess I'll go first. I mean the classic story of a lot of artists out there, not all, but like for me in my cases, I've been drawing since I was a kid, since as early as I can remember. But I always like to say that I didn't take drawing really seriously, I would say, until I was in my early 20s. That's when I decided I wanted to go to art college and really hone in my skills, meet people.
And was that AO Arts or ACAD as we knew it before? Or?
Yes,
ACAD.
ACAD for sure, or as we now know it as UAD, University of Art and Design.
I don't think you learned like a lot related to your comic from UAD. However, you met friends that you were able to then build a group around making comics. Right.
Yes, totally. It was funny because I learned a lot of like technical skills in terms of like anatomy, composition. I call it your drawing vegetables, the stuff that you should perspective and stuff that you should absolutely learn. regardless of what style or what you're trying to do with your drawing. But I would say it's the people I met along the way, fellow students that really helped me to sort of like hone in my skills, basically.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. Yeah, I can say that I had a little bit of a similar background in the sense that I had similar training, and actually I didn't get into comics seriously until after school, and after graduating and realizing that, oh, comics are pretty dang amazing, pretty dang cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
Yeah.
should talk about dogs in space.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, like I'm talking about drawing, but what I really should be saying is comics. Like my love for comics also began in my childhood. I think my first comic ever was a Darkwing Duck comic. I
nice.
just saw it at the store. Yes, yeah. I just saw it at the store, and I just really, really wanted it. And my mom was like, for a long time, she was like, "No, you shouldn't have comics until you're a little bit older. You know, you're kind of young." Yeah, my mom just she had a bunch of Marvel comics and stuff when she was a kid, and she wanted me to be like extra precious with them and careful, which is a really cool thing for a mom to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she saw the comic, got it for me, and that kind of set me down on my road. And yeah, I started making my own comics at a young age. One of them was called Dogs in Space, which it was something I did around elementary and middle school. And it was just basically, as the title states, like dogs traveling through space, kind of like in some intergalactic war with cats. Yes,
great.
and then ran for
pencil on printer paper.
Yes, and it ran completely on printer paper and just a 2HB pencil.
Humble beginnings.
Yes, and it ran for
Yeah.
12 issues. I made like 12 books out of it. So
Wow.
yeah, so
Waiting to
comics is a great
13.
medium to like just be able to be the director of your own movie, because when you're a kid, you're like, I don't have access to like an actors and like a whole studio and everything,
yes.
right? But it's a way to like, oh, I want to tell this story.
Yeah.
Well, I got pencil and paper. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's all you need to create a world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
imagine you
amazing.
guys had that too, hey? Where I'm sure you used to make a bunch of comics when you were young
Yeah,
too,
just
right?
pencil and printer paper.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
That's all we had in the 90s. is
Same.
pencil. We didn't
Right.
have tablets back then. Technology didn't
Yeah.
advance until 2000s. So
Mhm.
Yeah,
it was
totally.
good
I
old
was one of the
pencil,
fortunate.
printer paper.
Yes.
Yeah, I was one of the fortunate students where, I think it was in junior high, I had an art teacher who fostered all our interests, and she actually went out of her
okay.
way to help those of us interested in making our own comics to like actually get like comic book paper and get it printed in like a proper like
Nice.
US
That's
sized
so
comic.
nice.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely left an impression for me.
That's what I tried to do when I was an art teacher and I had
Mhm.
kids that were interested in making comics. Like just try, like as soon as you put it in a book and you staple the book together and it's like a physical book you could hold, it's like the magic came alive. It's like I made a book.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
something quite
absolutely.
magical.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, comics are amazing. Yeah, as we all know, right?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, 100%.
And so, like, how about you, Achiro? How about a little bit of your backstory as well, and then we can go on to James as well. And
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. So like I loved Japanese comics growing up. So I was the Asian kid, right, in a mostly white and black and brown school. And so, for example, like Yu-Gi-Oh was big back in my day. I was in high school, and I was the one kid who knew where you can find the Yu-Gi-Oh manga in Chinatown. But the volumes were all in Chinese or Japanese. But yeah, it was just cool to be like ahead of the curve. Like I knew what was going to happen next. And I read a lot of scanslations. Like I don't know if I read Sailor Moon manga, but back when the websites were done on GeoCities, I could look up the spoilers of what happened before. It used to take months to dub and come over to the West. So it was an art form that I've always just really liked because in the dub versus sub versus the manga that it's based off of wars. Like the manga's always better because it's the source material. Like a lot of the shows that I loved were all based on comics. So if I wanted the source material, I had to go to comics. And I think I knew when I was like 11, I have already made up my mind that I wanted to be a comic artist, but I didn't know how, right? Because I'm like, I don't live in Japan. I can't submit my comic into one of those magazines. And Canada didn't have comic magazines. So I just kind of started to ask my teachers if I could use any English assignment as turn it in as a comic assignment, right? I tried to just use what I had in school to try to hone my skills. And I think it helps because back then it was really hard to write an original story, especially if you wanted it to be an epic like One Piece, like you wanted it to be multi-volume work. So in high school, one of my assignments was to do an adaptation of Shakespeare. So I decided to turn that into a manga. And I adapted the entirety of Shakespeare's Macbeth, which ended up taking me 2 years. And it ended at 274 pages. And it's just pencil on printer paper. And so
I remember that.
Yeah, like so that was proof to myself that I can make long volume work. Like I can like because before I would just stop at short stories. I would just tell like a fairy tale. It'd be like 20 pages. And I didn't know I could do more than 20 pages. But that was the project where obviously the teachers won't let me hand in something 2 years later, but I handed in what I could, like Act 1 in the 2-week deadline. And then I just kept working on it like for the rest of my like high school years. And all my friends knew, and they were all asked me, is it done yet? Are you still working on it? I'm like, I'm still working on it.
Yeah.
And eventually I put it up on the web, and you can find it on Tapastic. But that's kind of where I got started. That's where I got the confidence, like, hey, I can do this. Like, if I can do 274 pages of like an adaptation of like a multi-act work, I can do something like this, but original this time. I can do my own original work.
That's fantastic. To the fact that you're able to do like a comic that like was that size, that sheer number of pages is astounding. Yeah. Wow. That's a great way to start. My gosh. Yeah. I feel like for myself, just even now as a professional, I find it hard to reach that level of like that amount of pages of any series or any book. And so that's no small feat. That's fantastic.
It's quite an accomplishment. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It was disheartening though. Like I shopped it around like at comic conventions because my teachers were so proud of me. But every professional shot it down because it wasn't professional standards. By no means wasn't professional standards. Like it was scratchy pencil. Yeah.
But we all have to
start. We all have to start somewhere.
Exactly. Beginnings once again.
Exactly. Yeah. And how about you, James? How about you? What's your story? What's your backstory, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, of course, a tale as old as time. No, I started, of course, just like everyone else, super young. I've a couple defining moments which kind of like changed my trajectory. I got more into drawing with a friend on the side of the road, just doing like chalk drawings. Like I was doing like just regular old stickman at the time, but I had a friend show me, it's like, check it out. You can make the bodies look like fleshed out and more like people if you draw it like this. And then he drew it and it did look like more like a person. I thought that was just so fascinating. And that like just kind of led me to start experimenting with drawing in a different way. And then I guess the second sort of thing, which kind of led from that, is I was notorious for having just like mounds and mounds of tracing paper, just like that translucent paper. And I would, and I would absolutely ruin my comic books just because like I'd find cool poses of like Spider-Man or Wolverine or stuff like that, and just like put that tracing paper down and just like trace over them endlessly. Yeah,
that's
so like
awesome.
and then just kind of led from there. I was always the art kid and the cool guy who could draw cool stuff in high school, junior high, and beyond. But yeah, and then one fateful day at EB Games, one Matthew Carberry comes in
Yeah,
And
that's right.
Yes.
That's how you
yeah.
two met.
yeah, and then just from that he was buying. Oh God,
It
Super
was
Mario.
Mario and Luigi.
Yeah,
It was
Oh
the
yeah.
that RPG series on it's because we were college buddies, but we
yeah,
didn't know it.
we were pretty much immediate friends after he was buying that game, just because I spotted at the time his ACAD card, and I was like, wait, you go to ACAD? I go to ACAD. I've never seen you before.
Mm-hmm.
And we just started chatting video games and comics and stuff, and then just started hanging out from then. And then he invited me to what was
Low five.
low five at the time.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah,
And what's
and then
that for our viewers, you know, who may not know what Low Five is about?
yeah, low five was a creative collective. There there was a few of us, few writers, few artists working together on a few titles. Yeah, it was a fun time. I think our biggest title altogether was a little off the top. I think you can still find it on Webtoons, actually.
Oh,
Mhm.
cool.
Unfortunately,
Really?
unfinished. Yeah, just we all kind of, I don't know, life happened, and then we all just
Mhm.
kind of
Yeah.
parted ways. Like no bad blood between anybody. We're all still good friends, but just
Mhm.
life continues, and that's
Mhm.
okay. But
Yeah.
even through the thick and thin of it, what I still really like is that as it started, as it continues, is Matt and I are still working together on stuff, even after the even after
Mhm.
Low Five came and gone. And yeah,
Yeah, your friendship really had a chance to grow, and you guys are sticking together.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then beyond like
Yeah.
comic book stuff like that, I do a lot of freelance illustration as well. So
Mhm.
I have 4 published books now. Holy moly!
Do tell. Yeah, do you mind
Yeah.
sharing with us what
Mhm.
they are?
Sure, yes. So I work with a local writer called Carrie. Her name's Carrie Stanton. She's predominantly does like children's books and young readers books. So the first one I did was The Jewel, just set a long, long time ago in Alberta, which is pretty fun. It was the first one I ever did. So I don't know, it's always funny looking
Mhm.
back at stuff and you're just like, oh man, I could have done
Oh,
that better.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah, I'll
Mhm.
start. Yeah, I'm sure all of us can relate to that.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can still find that at some bookstores, which is always pretty fun. And then beyond that, after that, I did B Spot with the same author, and that one is about a young boy who's builds machines and things and creates all sorts of contraptions and things, and then life throws him a curveball, and he has to adapt and overcome certain events that happen. Don't want to spoil the story.
Mhm.
And then after
All
that,
those
oh
curveballs.
yeah,
Mhm.
all those curveballs, so many curveballs.
Mhm.
After that, I did The Gardener, again with the same writer,
Yeah.
and that one's just more of a simpler, just like kids' books with full color illustrations. I always like gifting it to friends who have just had recent babies in their families and stuff like that. Yeah,
Totally
it's
makes
fun.
sense.
We're at
Fun
that
and
age where that's
crazy and
abundant.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
no kidding.
Everybody's having
Uh,
kids. Yep.
oh,
Except
Oh
my
us.
yeah.
kids.
Mhm.
Not for me, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Knock yourself out
Yeah.
though.
Yeah,
Uh,
likewise, likewise.
yeah,
Mhm. Mhm.
Awesome, that's great. That's awesome,
yeah.
James.
And then
Wow,
Yeah.
did the
congratulations.
oh, thank you. And then I did the
So
Yeah.
cover
proud of
artist
you.
for the most
Yeah.
recent one was a book called The Wish Doctor.
Oh,
Oh,
I don't think I know that one.
Yeah,
yeah,
by
what's that
Mark.
one?
Okay.
It is a young reader's book, so it's I just did the cover because it's filled with text because it's all aimed at older audiences. It's
Oh,
about
okay.
a magical doctor who travels through time, but it's not it's not Doctor Who. Don't worry about it.
Not Doctor
But
Oh,
Strange either.
yeah, yeah, it's a, kind of like a merging of like Harry Potter and Wish Doctor and a few other fantasy stuff that the writer enjoyed. But yeah, I did the cover for that, and that one was fun too.
wow. That sounds amazing. Those are all really cool projects.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
And
it's
so, and
interesting to look back at your pantheon of
yeah,
work.
Yeah, you know, it's to look back at your collection and kind of bask in it a little. I hope you should bask in it, have some time to bask in your own glory, you know?
Absolutely. Just, you
Hmm.
Yeah.
get lost in like the current and you're just like, wait a minute, I have done good stuff. I'm like, I've done some cool stuff over the years. I should be
Yeah.
proud of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's something we have to remind ourselves constantly, I think. I know I have to
Mhm.
remind myself that too, a lot of times, right?
Yeah, I think it's our tendency to forget what our past selves have done because we're so focused
Yeah.
on what our future selves want to accomplish.
Yes, that's
But if
right.
you do take
Yeah.
a step back, you're like, wow, I actually did a lot.
Yeah.
Come a
Yeah.
very far way. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely wanted to add, like, I think anytime, like, for me, when I'm kind of feeling like my confidence is low at where I'm going, with my comic or with my art in general, I just have to kind of take a step back and really take a day to just look at what I've accomplished so far. You know, even if my older stuff sometimes can be a little cringe to look at, like, you still have to be proud of it, right?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it
Oh
got you
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so true. Yeah, yeah, it's that's very real. Yeah.
Hmm.
I can't count the number of times where like, yeah, I've also felt cringe, you know, looking at my own work at times and like, no, no, that was a necessary stepping stone
Yes.
to in order to keep going and to keep improving and to, you
Yes.
know,
Everybody
yeah,
has an edgelord phase where they draw skulls and swords.
Oh, dude, I still
right?
have that edgelord phase. I'm still drawing
I
skulls. What are you
never
talking
left.
about?
Yeah.
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 Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I get that
especially
sentiment
like
too.
because with Matt and I were doing multi-volume work, sometimes it's
Mhm.
easy to get caught up in like, oh, I'm only at volume 1, like I want this to be volume X. It's like I'm nowhere near volume X yet. And
Mhm.
sometimes you
Right.
just gotta take a break and be like, well, most people haven't even done a single volume. So even having
Yes.
one volume done is a lot of work.
Absolutely.
Right? Well, speaking of, like, yeah, if you could, Achiro, we could just like segue into this. If you could talk a little bit about your book as well. It's 17 volumes long currently. So, like, yeah, would you, yeah, mind telling us a bit about that book and anything else, any other books you have under your belt?
I affectionately like to call it the story that I didn't plan to write. It just kind of happened. And
Yeah.
and Matt, you can
Mhm.
talk about this. Like, literally, we were going on a plane somewhere. I was at the
Trip to
airport
Dubai. It was
to
Dubai.
Dubai
Yeah.
for a friend's wedding,
Hmm.
and like I was just channeling this story, and I was doodling it like on the plane.
Yep.
I think it first started when this was back when I was still teaching art on the weekends. I
Hmm.
was out of my lunch break and I literally just had to grab a scrap piece of green construction paper from the recycle bin to jot it down so I wouldn't forget it. And then I wasn't planning on publishing it. Like I really didn't know where it was going, so I left it to be like really scribbly because I was just like, okay, I just need to jot this down as fast as possible. As these characters are talking, I need to jot down their conversation. And
Right.
ended up being hundreds and hundreds of panels. And I looked at the amount of sketches that I had. I'm like, this is enough volume of work that I could probably share this. And so I started creating a webtoon, and this is back when webtoon was new and they had a grant for creators. So if you were making a certain number of page views and subscribers, you would get paid, and it was quite a good start because at the time I think they paid me like $700 for about a year and a half until the grant ran out
Oh.
and they switched to ads with Google. But
Hmm.
they didn't have much censorship back before ads, right? Because ads decide, you can't have graphic content, you can't have nudity, you can't have anything alluding to sex. But at the time, like it was
Hmm.
kind of the
Wow.
wild woods. Like they accepted everything, and so I just shared it there, and it just rode the momentum. Like it was getting almost 100 subscribers a day. Like it was just riding that wave of momentum to until it kind of ran dry. And now I'm switching from the webtoon to sort of publishing it myself because I
Hmm.
feel like the contents of the books wouldn't fit a traditional publisher.
Hmm.
And then from working on the self-publishing side of things, I've been also lucky. It just so happened that I found a webtoon I really liked. It's called Reads, and so I read through all of it,
Yeah.
and then I was
What's
doing
what's
fan
that?
art for the creator.
Really?
And it just
What's
so
it?
happens that it's a
What's
medieval
yeah.
Hmong, which is like in Southeast Asian fantasy about
Mm.
a how do I put it? It's an Asian medieval fantasy about
Yeah.
these ruling families that have made contracts with dragons for power, and they're trying to. It's a tale of like revenge and just trying to get who's the rightful ruler, I guess, of the kingdoms.
Oh, okay.
And it stars queer leads. So one of the main characters is a trans guy. So he starts out as like a princess in one of these kingdoms, and eventually he realizes that his family is not his blood family, that they adopted him, and he was chosen by the dragon to inherit these powers. So it's pretty cool. So it's an Asian inspired, Hmong inspired fantasy action adventure shonen story. But anyway, so the creator
That's cool.
put out on his Twitter, back when it was Twitter, that he was looking to do more animation for his portfolio. So I was like, oh, cool. I would love for you to animate some of my work. And that's how we got started together. And he helped me look for voice actors, and we did one promotional video. And now we just finished hiring the rest of the voice actors for this book trailer project. And so now we're going into phase 2. So that's just been really exciting. Writing sort of what inspiration has me take like the steps next.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. Wow, that's quite the quite the journey for your book and for the character. Like they all feel so real to me. Makes sense because they're based off of real life experiences to some degree, right? And the mixture of that.
So I like to say that that's based off either stories that I have heard from people, either in real life, either it's my experience, my sister's experience, my friend's experiences, or it was a story time video on YouTube or a Reddit anonymous story. So it is based on like a true story to some degree, even though it's a urban fantasy. So everyone like is an elf or a troll or like a fantasy creature. But they have cell phones, so it's set in modern day. So it's got a bit of fantasy elements to it, but the stories and the romances are based on actual romances and personality traits and stuff. So it feels like somebody somebody you might hate or somebody you might like.
Yeah. Well, I think that's one of the great appeals of the book, right? Is that it's a mixture of fantasy and reality, right? Like it's I think some of my most favorite things that I like in fiction happen to be things that are written in a way that feels like they're real people, even if they're like elves or mutants or some creature. They've got very human and recognizable qualities.
Agreed.
Yeah. Like I think one of the most prominent pieces of advice I ever got was from my mom, who told me to write from truth, or told me to write from my life. I don't remember if it was her or it's a combination of her and another author I read, but it's true that you are the only person with your life experience. So no matter how much fantasy you blend it with, if you draw from your life experiences, that is gonna make your art unique. So instead of copying like what somebody else does just because it's popular, well, then you just end up doing like an inbred idea. But if it's based on something that's happened to you personally, it can't be inbred. It's just inspiration. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah, that's very sage advice. That's 100%. That feels genuine and true to me as well. Yeah. That's fantastic. Yeah, no, and so I'd like to move on to Matt as well, to Quest for Hire, if that's cool. I'd like to get
Yeah.
a little bit more about Quest for Hire. So yeah, Matt, and if anybody also wants to chime in, obviously just feel free to. If you could tell me more about Quest for Hire and let the audiences know what is Quest for Hire about, and how did that come about?
Oh my goodness, it's so funny because I was just rambling about the premise before the interview here, because even though I always think I got it locked down,
That's your
I have
elevator
to,
pitch there, Doug.
my
Bud?
elevator pitch, yes, the
Yeah,
dreaded.
he did rehearse it. I can confirm. Oh,
Yes.
by the way, we're married. In case people didn't know, I'm his
Right,
wife.
Yeah.
and congratulations is in order too. Happy anniversary, you two.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. Thank you
We've
so
been married for
much.
5 years now, and we don't look a
Yay.
day older.
Beautiful.
In spite of it all.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Sho. But yeah, so Quest for Hire, it's been a story that, in a strange sort of way, it's stuck around me for so long. But it wasn't until around the 2020s that it really materialized into the
Give
way
us
I
the
wanted it.
synopsis first. Tell us what it is
Yes,
about
okay,
first.
the
Before you
synopsis,
tell
for
us that,
sure.
yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
Quest for Hire, basically, the best way I'd like to describe it right now is it's this all ages coming of age story where you have essentially this gang of misfits. And they essentially become a found family by going through this really crazy adventurers club.
Yeah.
And in doing so, yeah, they're just exploring the world, and they're building the bonds with each other. Essentially over what starts out as this sort of quest for
Higher.
validation, acceptance,
Yeah.
yes, and external validation.
Yeah.
But basically, as they go along, they're kind of having to learn that they need to sort of have,
They need to validate themselves internally.
yes. For the record, that's not part of the premise.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
just basically, you
Yeah.
just need to know found family of misfit youngins bonding together over an adventurers club.
Yeah, that totally makes
Mhm.
sense. No, I feel like there's a
Mhm.
what you're explaining is a little bit of the subtext or the invisible ink behind these characters, right? Their inner
Mhm.
quests, and a little bit of their outer quests, right? Because they're
Yes.
adventurers, as you say, right?
Yes, they
Yeah.
are. Yeah.
Yeah, and your main character, right? Yeah, if you could describe her a little bit for audiences
Sure.
to know. How would you describe her?
It's interesting because, like,
Abby McGee. Start with her name.
Yeah,
yes, Abby
yeah, name
McGee.
first. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. So the main character, I guess what I'd have to say is Abby McGee.
Uh-huh.
She is this sort of young, plucky redhead. I always like to have
yeah. I have the
pictures.
book here. I could bring it
Yeah,
out
yeah,
too.
she's
So
holding
Yeah,
it. Show
I'm just
show's
gonna
holding the picture.
I
Yeah.
love how I have
yeah,
everyone except for the first
So-
one. There we go. So that little, if you can see her, that little redhead there with the big mechanical hands, that's
Scotland,
Abby
yeah.
McGee. And yeah, she's
Yeah.
this sort of like young, plucky adventurer who comes from like this long line of McGees that have also been part of the fabled Quest for Hire. And all of them before her have kind of built a name for themselves as adventurers.
And inventors.
And inventors as well. Yeah, they've done some pretty extraordinary things. And then Abby comes along, and she's kind of a little different from all of that. She's hasn't fully grown into her body yet, I want to say.
She
Yeah.
doesn't look 14.
No,
she's
she's
very short
14.
for a 14
She
year.
is very
Right.
short for 14. She's
Yeah.
yeah, she's definitely like, she has to be extra careful for her age, because she's kind of an easy target, but she doesn't want to be, and she doesn't want to be held back just because of her size or maybe how some people view her. She wants to live up to the family name.
It's like a nerdier version of Toph from
Mhm.
the Last Airbender.
Yes.
Oh
Avatar.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'd
Toph
like to
is
say that.
fantastic too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So instead of being
Yeah.
all like physically fist and martial arts, she's like, I want to be like a master of gadgetry.
Yes. That is
That's
one thing
right.
about Abby. Like,
Yeah.
she has the courage, but also the thing about Abby is that she sort of inherited the side of her family where she is just really good with gadgets and machines, and she can pluck things inside out of
Take things apart, put them back together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one of her strong suits is she essentially builds these giant mechanical gauntlets that are almost like too big for her, but somehow she makes it work. And it's kind of like an Inspector Gadget gimmick. I don't know if kids today even know what Inspector Gadget is, but basically,
I hope they do.
I hope they do too, but you never know, right? But basically, the cool gimmick with them is that these gauntlets can turn almost into any, like, it's like a Swiss Army knife. It can turn into so many different tools.
Helicopter mode.
Yeah,
Waffle
it has a
mode.
helicopter mode. It has a drill mode, a hammer. It has a toaster.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
You
Whatever
Gotta
she
get your
needs.
head on the go.
You never
He's
know.
on the
You never know
go.
when you need waffles, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So what she basically lacks in size, she makes up for in brains, and again, like she's got the courage, she's got the pluckiness, she's got the go get 'em attitude, and yeah, that's basically
and she's surrounded by
what makes
a great cast of people as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I hope they are a great cast. That's gonna be my inner critic coming. Yes. Well, and yes, she also never really grew up with a lot of friends. Of course, she's been very sheltered by her parents, so she's kind of breaking out against their wishes to follow in the family footsteps. So she definitely meets an unlikely cast of characters who become her friends and even her family down the road. The first one being this character here, this purple-haired lady.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yes, thank you.
Cool.
Her name is
the edgy teenager.
The edgy teenager. Yes. Yes. Her name is Scully, and this is why I wanted to kind of say, like, it's kind of funny because sometimes, like, she also feels like my main character.
Yeah.
To a degree.
Yeah.
And she starts out. We see right away that she starts out as sort of this roguish thief who is basically going after the same thing that Abby is going after to sort of get herself into the quest for hire. And that's
her adoptive family is basically a gang.
Yes, Scully's adoptive family is basically a gang full of bandits, and it starts this really rough relationship at first, where they're kind of at each other's throats, but over time it sort of evolves into this sort of like sisterhood relationship.
Yeah, their sister they didn't know each other needed.
It definitely comes a lot. She meets a lot of characters, and they really sort of form the found family aspect is really huge in this story, and I think a lot of that comes from if we're kind of going back like what you said, Charlene, like drawing a lot from life. You know, I grew up with a foster family, and I was 10 years old when my mom decided to become a foster parent, and she's essentially bringing in all these young kids into our home. And over time, like at first it's crazy, you know, when you're young, you're like, you know, these kids come out of nowhere, but they need families, they need love. And over time, like you don't even see them as like foster kids in quotation. You start to view them as like your actual siblings. And that's a strong theme in the story, is like you've got this young girl who is very much like me when I was a kid, because I was very short and I had to rely on sort of like my wits to get out of situations. And a lot of my friends and all these kids coming to my life, like they were my family. It wasn't just like family by blood, you know? So
Oh wow, that's beautiful.
Thank you. I was like, I hope I'm not getting too overly deep so fast, you know, like.
Oh no, no, it's all good. That's okay here. Okay. I say that's fine. That's totally fine.
Okay, good. I'm a bit of a rambler, so.
Just to no. This is great. No, that's awesome. I hadn't realized that. You know, just from knowing that makes me appreciate Quest for Hire even more, and the characters and the journey.
Thank you. Yeah.
Right. And so I know you're up to about volume. Is it volume? What's been released is up to volume 7, right?
Yeah,
So
volume
it's
7.
we call it issue 7 or chapter 7. So all 7
okay.
issues make one volume. So that would be if we were to put it all together in a book, that would be volume 1.
Yeah,
And so
that's-
yeah, that's volume 1 there altogether.
and
Okay.
that's where it's kind of interesting because like I like to call them they're sort of like beta books, if you will. Because the real goal of Quest for Hire is we would love to get it as like actual volumes, like a graphic novel, very similar to like what you see with like Amulet by and I'm sorry if I'm getting it.
Oh yeah, Kazuki
Oh,
Buishi.
yeah.
Yes, thank you. I
Jeff
was worried about
Smith's
getting his
Bone,
name wrong.
yeah.
Oh, it's all good.
And
Yeah.
also like Lightfall, yeah.
Yep, Lightfall by
Tim Proper.
Oh,
yes,
I know
Tim Proper.
Lightfall.
Yeah, excellent book.
I've been collecting that too.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
it's great.
It's
Yeah.
I got to
three
meet
volumes
him
in
at
right now.
TCAF. Yeah.
Oh,
He's a
cool.
good
Oh
guy.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome. I
got
didn't
a
realize he
signed
was at
print.
TCAF.
He was at TCAF this past year.
It's
yeah.
amazing who
Oh.
shows up at TCAF. It really is. So
Oh really? Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's one of my goals, my dreams is to have
Oh, I hear ya.
a book that I feel proud enough to have like sell at and promote at TCAF.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, hey, TCAF trip, all of us. TCAF
Yes.
date. There we
One
go.
day. Yeah.
Hot date.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next year, 2026.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun.
Yeah,
Traveling together as a unit.
absolutely.
That usually makes things
Yeah, because
easier.
you can
right?
only apply every
Yeah.
second year. Like it's so busy. Like you're not allowed to apply consecutively. So if you've already been there for 2024, you can't attend as a vendor again for 2025.
Yes.
Just
Yeah.
skip the year.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll
I
see.
get that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
That
I
was-
was a vendor at TCAF in 2024. So my next opportunity would be 2026 if I were to
Yes.
apply again.
Oh, that's awesome. And you enjoyed it enough that you want to go back, right? That's
Oh,
that-
totally. Yeah. Like
Mhm.
it's very rare to find a market where people who attend that market are specifically there for indie comics. Like
Mhm.
most of the time when I'm here in Calgary, it's like queer markets or art markets. And Panel One is still quite small, but TCAF has been around for years. It's one of Canada's largest indie comic festivals. And the other cool thing about TCAF that I don't even see at VanCAF is a lot of people actually come up from the States. There's a lot of international artists who come to TCAF and a lot of people who know about it, who come up from like, just across the border. They make that trip just to attend. So it's really
that's
neat that way.
awesome.
Yeah, it's a
Wow.
huge turnout. It's all 3 floors of the reference library. Like imagine like the Calgary Public Library.
Yes.
The
yeah.
entire library is dedicated to indie comics. And
Yeah, it's
like,
quite a sight to
packed.
behold.
Yeah, it's
That
packed
is-
like for
Yeah.
a full weekend. Like
Mhm.
it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the dream. That is
That's
the dream.
Yeah.
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 Well, and hopefully, like I said, like the dream is to. I would love to have I would love to have Quest for Hire as like an actual volume to be published under some house name, because right now the books, like I said, they do kind of work as like a beta. It's essentially like I guess what I mean by that is like I'm handing I'm selling them as like single issues.
That's what Jeff Smith did. It's the same
Yes,
path that Jeff
exactly.
Smith took. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm kinda
Both
going the Jeff
bonus
Smith
issues
route. Yeah,
before
yeah.
putting it together as a single
Yes.
massive graphic novel.
And certain
Right.
things are subject to change for sure. Like if it became an actual volume, like we have short stories that sort of like work in between these
Issues, yeah.
issues, yeah, that I would love to put out as well if the volume ever got printed. But yeah, for now we're just basically going
Bonus
from
content.
Yes.
Yeah. Bonus content.
Gotta have
Right?
bonus
Exactly.
stuff in the book.
Oh, I would love that. Absolutely. But yeah, we just go from
Yeah.
con to con right now, just kind of, pitching the story where we can. And
Mhm. So that's the dream, right? Yeah. Is that also the
Yes.
goal?
that's the goal, the dream. And I mean, like, yes, in some situations, I definitely am trying to be flexible. Like, I've even entertained the idea, like, if the story is kind of charted out in seasons, almost like a TV show. So up to like somewhere a little over 20 chapters, that would be sort of the end of a season. That would be the end of a major arc. And then there's 3 in total that I have planned. And how I would do it is like possibly if say nothing happens, say it didn't get published by at that point, I could potentially entertain the idea of it becoming a webcomic. It's not completely out of the realm of possibility. And then hello Biscuit.
Oh, his little dog. Your
Yes,
little doggy?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like I said, she's the moral support dog. She keeps me going.
He loves to bark at me.
We all need a biscuit. You know,
Yes, we do.
Right.
Yeah.
every now and again.
Yes.
Yeah, that's interesting. Am I to understand that also like you're working on something currently as well, right? For Quest for Hire? Did you
Yeah,
wanna
we're
talk
on
about that a little
volume
bit?
2 now. So issue 8.
Yes. Yeah.
Issue 8,
So
9,
Issue
10.
8.
if the
Okay.
first volume was 7, then 8 to I believe 15 is no 8, 9, 10, 11. 8 to 13 is volume 2. So we're coloring 8. It's messy. I'm coloring 8. I am just finished inking 9, and then I'm currently inking 10. While also
Right. And so yeah. Well, I was just gonna say, like, yeah, if you don't mind, like, maybe talking a bit about what your process is like as a team when it comes to working on Quest for Hire, or for even for actually, the Man and Lucky Channel. That's all you, ACHIRU. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, that's all you.
So
Okay,
I
great. So
write
Quest
it.
for Hire,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, and Quest for Hire is the tag
All
team,
three
all
of us.
3 of you.
it's
Yeah.
definitely a tag team.
It's 80% Matt, I think. I don't know. Yeah, 80% Matt, and then James and I make up the other 20%.
Yeah. So how does that work? Like, in terms of work process, or
It- it's
what's that look like?
It's a little I mean it's messy, right? And I mean what isn't messy
Let's
when
start with the
people are
writing. So when you
Yeah.
have an idea,
Yeah.
you jot it down in like a notepad, or
Actually, my writing process is
you
essentially
thumbnail it.
thumbnail. I
Yeah,
thumbnail.
you thumbnail the pages
Yeah.
first.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Sho, I
I
think
do.
I'm similar to you in regard, because I think you
I was
mentioned how
gonna
you're a
say.
very you're a very
Yeah,
visual
yeah.
storyteller, right?
I am. I'm
Mhm.
very visual, and so a lot of
Yes.
the writing and the thumbnails actually happen simultaneously,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and often the writing also are just like notes to myself to remind
Yes.
myself about what that thumbnail is if I can't
Right.
recognize it, say a week later.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, no, it's interesting because like the writing process for me is definitely a lot of like the picture comes into my head. I need to have that image in my head like otherwise I don't know what the characters are saying. It's interesting like that, right?
Yeah, makes
I
sense.
I've tried the traditional, write the script first on a Word document. That drove me insane. I couldn't handle that.
Yeah.
Is it almost like a silent movie first? Like you see
It is a
the
silent.
pictures move? Yeah.
Absolutely, that's a good way
Yeah.
to put it. It reads like a
Yeah.
silent movie, and then from there, I just know what the characters are going to say. So the process starts with me essentially doing tiny scribbles of how the page is going to look. Somehow, the text always manages to fit. Because
Yeah, it's like, yeah,
Mhm.
it's just you kind of sense it. It's just something that kind of just happens.
It's weird,
as you're
but
doing
yeah,
it,
that's
right? Yeah.
exactly how it is.
Yeah.
It's so yeah, I draw the images, then the words, and then essentially I take the thumbnail that I like, blow it up to sort of fit on the page, and then just basically draw over it, ink it, send it off to my boy James over here. He gets
what up?
the flatting done.
Nice.
Because coloring is probably the most intense thing.
Time consuming.
Yes, most time consuming and intense.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Absolutely,
coloring
yeah.
is I feel like colorists in the comics
Oh, yeah.
industry in general tend to be unfortunately overlooked, but which is weird because like coloring is like
Yes.
hugely
So much of
important.
it.
Yeah, we debated it a long time before starting whether to even color the book at all.
I think
But
I was a madman
you
for
were,
just yeah.
Mhm.
But I can't
Mm,
deny, like it's
It
one of
looks
those
so
like
good in color, though.
that's the problem,
Mhm.
right?
yeah, it
It
does.
takes work.
Yeah.
If it looks so good, but it takes work.
Like I just had to color
Yeah.
that first page, I couldn't have just left it black and white. I
Yeah,
messed with it,
yeah.
and then the next thing you know, I was like, I can't go back. It looks
Okay, we
looks
got to
so
commit
good.
to coloring it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Color it is.
So,
Yeah.
but like it's been awesome because James, like I said, has been phenomenal at like getting the flats done, which I think is the most tedious process. It's taking your paint bucket tool and just clicking on empty white space all the time.
Oh yeah,
and
James.
fixing
Yes.
where there it
Yeah,
gaps.
Yes, thank you, James.
yeah, James. Yeah.
I
And
actually, for myself, I gain a lot of satisfaction from like helping people sort of achieve their vision. So
my man.
what I also do as another source of income is like graphic design and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
when it comes to like graphic design and illustration, you're usually given like instructions by your client on like what to do. Yeah, I've always really enjoyed helping people see their visions through and like completing something together.
Mm.
And I think with
That's
this one in
awesome.
particular, having a team on it has kind of helped us see it through as well.
Yes.
Like we all sort of keep each
Mhm.
other accountable, and like it's not just one person relying on their own willpower to see it through. It's done. It's like 3 people together. It's just
Yes.
I think that's something to. I think that's something important for would-be creatives out there and aspiring creators. Not would-be. That sounds a little. I don't know. Yeah.
No, you're on
You
the
would-be
ball.
has been.
Oh yeah, we
but,
get what you
no.
mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you think you're not going to be able to do it on your own, get a team in there. Get
Yes.
people to keep you accountable for your like your drawing or your writing or your coloring, and that'll help give you that extra push.
Well, I think
That's
to add to that,
fantastic.
yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to say to add to that, like, I don't think there's ever truly been something out there that hasn't at least there's been a few people, like when it comes to a project, like you have a few additional, let's say friends, loved ones who are attached to the project in some capacity. I think it's so necessary, especially if you're taking on something so big, because you're right, James, like you truly can't do it, I think, all alone. I mean, you can, but
Mhm.
it's
Hard.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It takes more
It's a lot of
time.
work to maintain
Mhm.
over a long period of time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then and then
Well,
after James, you color it, and then ACHIRU, you give it the polish, the final touches,
yeah, the
and tell me to
quality assurance as well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah, that's fantastic. I'm just amazed at how well you guys work together. And how crucial that is. And there aren't any like egos involved. It's just about helping each other.
Mhm.
You're unified in what you want to do. You know what you want. You know what you have to do. What needs to be
Yep.
done to get the book to be what it is. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
that's fantastic. And
Like
it
any good
shows.
anime, it's the power of friendship.
Yes.
100%. Yeah,
Mhm,
yeah, yeah.
mhm.
I think we also we love the characters. Like we believe in their journey, and I want to see how the story plays out. Right, I
Yeah,
want to
of
believe
course.
in Abby and Scully and see how they grow up
Yeah,
and what they end up
absolutely.
learning. Yeah, so
Thank
Yeah,
you.
totally.
we're just along for the ride.
This
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. This is what I'm also talking about here, because like Lord knows, like I have my doubts from time to time. Like I think anybody does, no matter how professional they get, where they're like, where's the story going? Is it good? Which is a weird question to ask, but like
Mhm.
I think the strain of a writer is you're always just beating yourself up, and having a team of
Yeah.
people to sort of pick you up is you need it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I can relate to that for sure. Where just, there are
Well,
moments
absolutely,
where
right?
it's like, oh, you have to have those moments of like doubt, but still push through
Mm-hmm.
and see the quality of your work as well, right? And to
Absolutely.
trust in the story, right?
Exactly, show. Yeah,
And
that's
yeah,
way to
and the
put it.
characters.
Mhm.
So yeah, and if there are any potential like publishers watching this particular episode, like get get on board with Quest for Hire. You know, you don't know what you're missing. Like
Aw.
this book
Yeah,
is
it's
fantastic.
good. It's
Oh,
good.
shucks.
Yeah. I want to see it in libraries across the nation, you know, in school libraries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have no, I can imagine it in the libraries easily, just
Exactly.
like,
I
Yeah.
would- that-
gracing the shelves of like,
Uh-huh.
right next to all those other great books, like Amulet and
Oh, you guys.
Lightfall and
You're gonna
and
get them all
Bone.
misty
Yeah,
eyed.
yeah. I'm gonna have them all.
Well, and also just I also wanted to touch on Achiru's approach too, her process for
Mhm.
your book. Yeah, if there's anything you'd like to share about your process.
Yeah, so I guess it's different. Whereas Matt is visualizing it like a silent movie and he sees the picture first and then he puts in the dialogue. I hear the dialogue first. So I keep a running notepad on my phone of the conversations that the characters are having with each other. And then I will take that conversation, I'll open up my notepad and I'll open up my iPad and I'll start drawing it. So I'll start actually visualizing, okay, where are they? Are they seated at a cafe? Like, are they eating while they're talking? Like, what's happening while this conversation is happening? And sometimes the conversation will shift. So as I'm drawing it out and they're actually in a physical space now, in a setting, sometimes I can try to trim the fat from the conversation, try to make it more concise, or maybe they'll switch tangents and we'll actually shift the conversation before coming back to the next scene. And then for me, when I draw it out, that's when it actually happens, and that's when it's set in stone and I can't change it.
That makes sense. So the writing phase is kind of like the malleable
Yeah.
version of it, and
Yeah.
then once you've
Once
already
it's
made the
actually
choice, once
drawn,
you've got
then it's done. Yeah.
Gotcha. That's fantastic. That's awesome. I've actually seen you, like when we went to was it Winging It that one night,
Yeah.
Oliver?
Yeah.
Yes.
And were you working on? I think you were working on
I was.
your
I was
book,
working
right?
on volume 24.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have
Mhm.
had a script, and then I was just drawing each panel from that script. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I remember just seeing that and being just like impressed that you can work on your final work, like on your
Yeah.
comic, even at a
Uh-huh.
restaurant. It's just like I
Yeah.
can barely sketch in a sketchbook properly, just like
I think it's from years of training. Because remember when I told you I did like Macbeth as my high school project, and we're talking about printer paper and pencil. So I don't know if you know Daiso, but it's like a Japanese dollar store, right?
oh yeah.
Yeah. So I had these clear plastic cases where I would just keep paper and pencil with me. So I would be drawing Macbeth while I was at a restaurant with my family, because Chinese family dinners are like 3 hours long. Or I'd be in a shopping mall and my parents were taking forever because my mom likes to shop and she can take forever, right? Especially at a department store. And I would just sit down at a bench at the shopping mall and work on my comic. So like, through most of my comic experience, it's been on the go, because I had to go wherever my parents took me at the time when you're a kid, right? So I would just always have paper and pencil with me to draw wherever I was going. So it's always been on the go, actually, if I think about it.
You definitely had that flexibility for sure.
Yeah. I've had that trained into me since I was a kid.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow.
And like my sister and I used to role play as well. And our role play was called The Comic. And so we were really flexible with, if we were at home, we would draw it on like this easel with the rolling paper and pen. So when we were at home, we would draw the comic and we wouldn't have to speak out loud, because we would write what we were saying to each other and then draw the head and the speech bubble, and we would talk silently on this easel board. But if we were out in a shopping mall or out at a restaurant, we would just speak it into existence, because we didn't have the tools to write it. But we would just talk about it, and the comic would just keep going until we got back home again, and we would continue it at home. So we've always had this sort of training.
Yeah.
And that's what helped us learn how to draw really fast too, because when you're having a conversation with your sister and you want to beat her to saying something, but it has to be written down, you got to write really fast and draw really fast to get your speech bubble in there.
It's a great motivator.
Yeah,
I'd imagine.
exactly. You're trying to have a real-time conversation, but it's in comics. She has a set of characters and I have a set of characters, and they each talk to each other.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's quite the exercise. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like I never like when I was in college, I had a hard time like I still had sketchbooks with me. I
Mhm.
did sketches at home, but it wasn't until after college where I started to see a real value in like just taking like a pocket-sized sketchbook with me wherever I was, like
Mm,
whether I was like at the waiting at a doctor's office or
yes.
like at a car shop waiting for repairs or whatever it is.
Mhm.
Yep.
I'd have like a notepad with me or just a pocket-sized sketchbook, just because like the ideas start flowing and they start coming to you at the moments where you least expect it, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
it's like, oh, I have
Yeah.
to like write it down or put it down on something. And
Mhm.
I
Oh, big
found as soon
time.
as I
Yeah.
started carrying like pocket sketchbooks with me, that's when my sketchbooks started to like really uh, pile up
Take
in terms
off.
of like,
Yeah.
yeah, kick off, yeah, in terms of filling
Yeah.
them up. Because you're
Take a
just, it
life of
isn't so
their
much
own.
about right, yeah, it isn't so much about like having the perfect sketch in a sketchbook anymore. It's just like, oh, I need to get this down now
Mm.
before I forget it.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not an art book, right? This is a well of your ideas that you're going to put out there in a later time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people like I'm guilty of this too. I used to be where like I treated sketchbooks like they're an art book, and every page must have like some really detailed illustration. But you're like, no, this is just for jotting down ideas, people. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's why
mhm.
like and this is just my opinion, and but like whenever I see like like Instagram posts or just like TikToks of like these immaculate sketchbooks and such, I'm like that there's a little bit of a lie to that. Like it's not, it's you had to
Mhm.
have put some thought and like at least some planning, I'd imagine, into that immaculate page, and it isn't just something you just kind of throw on there, at least not initially. So like sometimes I feel
Yes.
like that's a bit of like oh, I don't know if that's true, like, oh, you just couple this together one afternoon and it's like this beautiful sketch on like in a sketch page. Because I know for me to develop a decent
It's a muscle.
illustration,
It's a
Mm.
muscle that
yeah,
you train.
and I have to like make mistakes before I get to the final product. And maybe
Yep.
that's just where I am in terms of level, but like
Mhm.
I feel like more often than not, like people don't really show like the nitty
Process.
gritty of it, the
Mm.
process that gets to that point. But anyway,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
just my little rant about like all those immaculate Instagram and TikTok videos that are just like, oh, check out my sketchbook, it's fantastic, and it's like, yeah, but
Well,
how long did
it's
it
like that
take to
quote.
do
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, it's like that quote by Picasso, like, "Oh, but it took you 10 minutes to do." It's like, "Yeah, but it took me like 30 years to do it in
Yes.
10
Yeah.
minutes."
Yeah.
Like,
Right. Yeah.
if it wasn't for those 30 years, it wouldn't take me 10 minutes to do.
Right?
Like the fact
Yeah.
that I
Like I
can draw
just
really fast, that I can draw under a minute, it's because I've been training for
yeah,
like 3
Mhm.
decades to draw it in under a minute.
That whole design thing
exactly.
too.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
come out with a logo and then it's just
Mhm.
like it doesn't look like it took a long time to make, but there's so much like planning and math and adjustment
Mhm.
Yeah.
back and forth.
Nobody sees the
Yeah.
process. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody sees the
Like
process.
I can imagine how long did it take to and I don't know any information about this. I should probably look it up. How long did it take to get the Nike little, swish
Yeah.
Squish.
Right?
design? It
Yeah.
probably went through hundreds and hundreds of different iterations that no
Oh
one knows
yeah.
about before
Mhm.
Mhm.
getting to that
Exactly.
simplified version, right? Like
I wonder if we can find that out.
Yeah, no
I
kidding.
probably
Nike
should.
logo.
Right?
Well, and it's kind of interesting on the subject of comics too, because I've had some people in the past who I don't know if you've heard it before, the criticism of like when it comes to comics, like yes, the covers are beautiful on a comic. That's what's to definitely draw you in. And then I find a lot of friends will open up the comic and they'll be like, "Oh, but the pages never look as good as the cover."
Ah, I was guilty of that as a young kid too.
I
I
mean,
was
we've
just
all
like,
kind of done
yeah.
that, right? But
Yeah,
I
guilty as
think about
charged.
like, yeah, like the process, like of those pages. It's not just like in a comic. It's not just like simply drawing the characters. You're thinking of the composition of the panels and how to convey the story. Like and this is not me trying to knock off cover artists in any way. Like, it's phenomenal work what they do, but like those pages inside the comic, sometimes they're not always detailed, but the amount of planning, you know, and sketching that goes into that stuff is just so intense. And
and it's interesting because I had a conversation with a friend about like different rates for, you know, different page rates for comics, right? And how it's pretty nuts about how low those page rates can be to pay an artist versus like illustrators that do picture books, that illustrate for children's books, and those are they're normally paid pretty decently from a publisher. But the fact that kind of mentality isn't quite in the comics realm, that like page is worth almost less than an illustration piece is kind of nuts to me, because it's a lot. It's really hard to make a comic page. It's arguably harder than an illustration. I mean, they're both two different things, but they're both equally hard. It's probably more what I'm trying to say is that like they're both difficult, and I don't see why a comic page is worth less than an illustration. It just doesn't make sense to me. But
I think it has a lot to do with the culture, because if you think about it, children's illustrated books are going to be primarily bought by moms. Moms have money. Whereas in the history of the culture of comics in North America, comics has always been seen as a nerdy thing that's for a minority audience. So generally, it's always been associated with geeky men who live in mom's basements. Like it has that association, and it's only like superhero comics, and nobody thinks of any other genre of comics. So it's like, okay, only like it's not mainstream people won't buy this, therefore it's not worth investing in. So there's still this prevailing attitude that's divides the illustration community versus the comics community. And relating to this is I just looked up the story of the Nike logo. So it's actually developed in 1971 by Carolyn Davidson, who was a student, a graphic design student at the time, and she was just paid $35.
Oh my God, what? Work.
And yeah, and then that's how it started. That's the Nike logo. Yep. And then it went on to become a giant brand. This is a common thing though. Like, I don't know if you know, like Princess Peach, or was it Princess Peach's voice in the original video game? Yeah, they just like, well, we need a female voice. Go get the intern. She records it for very little pay, and then it goes on to become a giant brand thing.
Oh my God!
It's undervaluing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a very common thing in the field.
The things that I have opinions about corporations, to say the least.
Yeah,
100%. I'm with you, Sho.
I think corporations are what will be the end of the world. If there's a reason for it, it'd be probably a corporation or corporations in general. But like, anyway, that's just my personal opinion.
No, it's fair. It's fair.
We're gonna talk about old world versus new world. So old world is our current world. The what I call late stage capitalism is basically when we treat companies as people. I think in the future, like 2026 to 2030 and beyond, I'm hoping that we'll see how corruptible that is, and I think we'll start treating companies not as people under the law, like and I think at least I'm hoping that we have more mom and pop shops, like more locally
goods. Absolutely.
I think we're already kind of seeing that with just in Canada, everyone's now checking, is this made in America or made in Canada? Like, we're already starting to raise the awareness of where is this thing actually coming from, and what do I actually want to support with my paycheck, so
especially because of what's happening in the US right now,
tariffs,
which is it's just insane what's going on down there and what they're trying to do up here. Oh my gosh, half the time I feel like we're in a fever dream, and I'm like, is this for real? Is this actually happening?
The things around me right now, I touch them and like, is this tangible, or am I just like, is it going to be like Doctor Strange? Am I just going to suddenly fade out of existence or something?
Right. But
Yeah.
yeah, so this kind of relates in terms of, since we're talking about sort of like shitty things, but like
Yeah.
It was going to come up
I-
sooner or later.
right? Shit happens,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But there was that we were talking about during brunch. There was like this picture you had of a sticky note, which
Yeah.
listed the like 3 or 4 things that every illustrator, every comic creator goes
Yes,
through.
yes, we did.
I was
We
wondering
shared
if you
that
could
right.
post.
if we could run through those again and kind of chat about it.
Yeah,
Like what were the
Matt,
4?
since you're on your phone or whoever is on their phone, maybe I can pull it up on.
I can pull it up. I'm not sure if it's
Because
going
I
to take
sent
me
it
out of
to you.
the.
Because I think it's on your Blue Sky. I think I sent it to you on Blue Sky.
Yeah, I can look it
So-
up right now, actually.
Yeah,
Well,
so it's basically, to summarize it in a nutshell, just make comics. No matter what's going on, just make comics.
Oh, I
Yeah.
found it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. If you
it's
don't mind.
the
Mhm.
yeah. Do you want me to read it
Yeah,
out
read
loud?
it out loud for us,
Yeah,
please.
Sure thing.
yeah.
Yeah. So the post is basically it's by a person by the name of Matt Kish up on Blue Sky.
Mhm.
If anybody wants to check him out, but there's this list here where it says number 1, nobody really cares about your comics but you, and in brackets underneath they have make them anyway. Number 2,
Yeah.
you will work very, very, very long hours to make very, very few pages. Again, in brackets, make them anyway. Number 3, you will pour out your heart and energy, but you will never make meaningful money. Make them anyway. And lastly, number 4, make comics forever.
Wow.
Take
Yeah.
that as you will, anybody listening, but for me personally, that I find that to be very motivational, especially in these times. It's what else can you do?
Yeah.
Right? That's how I look at it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, when you had read that to me as well when we were all there at brunch together, it yeah, it struck a chord with me. I mean, it was it
Yes.
made a lot of sense. Like I definitely can say I've felt all those things at different stages and still do to this day, where it's like, yeah, where it yeah, I don't know about, maybe you could tell me about your experiences, any of you here, but like I know for me, I have often found that I have to be my own fan of my own work in order to keep going, and that like no one is going to really care as much as I do about like the work that I'm trying to get
100%.
done,
For sure. Yeah.
or stories I'm trying to write.
This
Yeah.
this struggle of every artist that I know who is slowly switching from doing fan art to doing original art. So there's a
Yes.
completely different audience for people who love your OCs, who love original characters, who love their own original characters and yours, and who are just a fan of original in general, versus people who are only looking for, oh, I recognize this. This is Arcane. Oh, I recognize this. This is insert franchise here. I only like these characters that I'm already familiar with because I don't have the bandwidth to take in something new right now, which is fine. Like people are allowed to have existing comfort characters. And Disney characters are a huge source of comfort for a lot of people because, again, they've had known them since childhood, so they feel like, oh, I've known this character since I was a kid, like Winnie the Pooh, and so he's still my friend even though I'm an adult. Whereas they haven't had the time, and I don't have the distribution system to like showcase who my characters are to millions of people yet. Like I can count maybe the number of people who know who my characters are on my hands, but
We don't have
I
that Disney
appreciate
bling,
I
Yeah.
appreciate those people that I can count on my hands that know my characters as intimately as I do. Like for example, with Matt, like I can say, "Oh, this reminds me of Kevin," and Matt will be like, "Oh yeah, totally," like because he knows who Kevin is.
We just motivate
Yeah.
each other, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll be like, "Oh yeah," like we're walking through a shopping mall. I'll be like, "Oh yeah, Abby would wear this," and you look at it, "Oh yeah, Abby would wear that." Like, so it's like, oh,
Mm.
these people know this character, like they're friends with them, like me. And it's a
Yeah.
small community, but you can slowly keep expanding that community once you find other people who have the bandwidth to get to know your characters and read their stories and be like, oh yeah, okay, I know who this person is now, and I'll buy all the work of that character now because that's my new favorite character. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
I mean, I'm I can't help but think about like kind of how a lot of the stuff in what's popular today, like in Marvel Comics and sort of the origins of Marvel Comics to some degree, and
Mhm.
and
And like
you know
Ninja
the
Turtles, for example, like it took
yeah,
them maybe
right,
2 decades to
took
reach
them a
peak
long time.
popularity. Like it took a long time for people to know like what's a
Yeah.
Ninja Turtle?
Yeah, and it seems like you're lucky if you can get to that point of success like those people, um,
Hmm.
without having been burnt or doing not
Yeah,
nice
it's
things to each other. Kind of like for example, like Stanley and Jack Kirby and just sort of their tumultuous
mhm.
professional relationship.
Yeah, the
Sometimes it
reality is shit happens. Like people get divorced, people get married again, people graduate, people lose jobs. Like while you're trying to balance your life financially, emotionally, and all the rest of it, like people get sick. You have to become a caretaker. Sometimes you have to put your art on hold. And so all of this stuff is
Mhm.
happening. But at the same time, the likelihood, the percentage, the likelihood that your comic or your story or your idea will get seen by more people is zero if you don't make the thing.
Hmm.
If you don't make it, if you don't believe in it, if you
yeah,
don't share it, that probability is zero. So
Yes.
as long as you don't give up,
yeah.
like as long as you keep making it for yourself and it exists, like it exists in a physical, tangible form that people can pass around,
Hmm.
there's a possibility. Like the possibility goes up the more of it you make. And
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because just like I feel like the in a lot of ways the approach that indie comic creators are taking these days, we have more
Mhm.
options, more ways about like
Hmm.
getting our work out there
Yes, we
than like
do. Yeah.
There's
than the
also more of
past.
us. I feel like it's a
Yeah,
lot
there's
more of us than there used to be.
yeah,
I.
yeah, there's a lot more of us. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Hmm. I think kind of just going into that too. It's like kind of going back to the whole like you have to be your own fan.
Hmm.
I think there's also like with the way the landscape is now too. Like everything is so
It's the
unpredictable.
Wild
Like I
West all
remember
over again.
exactly.
Mm,
Like I remember telling myself, especially now with these corporations and the way they are, like I wanted to work, in those corporations at one point. I wanted to work
yeah,
maybe in
same.
Disney or right.
Cartoon
Mhm,
We've
Network.
all
yeah.
been
Yeah.
there. We've all
Well,
been
yeah,
there.
I wanted to do, make a cartoon, see my stuff animated.
Yes.
And
But I think sorry, Rue, just like I just wanted to say like I think at some point like for me personally, like with Quest for Hire, it just got to the point where like I think I'm not getting any younger and I'm not getting any of these kind of job offers to really like get myself out there to spread my work. But I always have like the worst case scenario of I don't want to be on my deathbed knowing I didn't at least try in
try.
some capacity
Hmm.
to get this thing out there. So for me, I think I just one day just sat down, locked in, and said, you know what? I'm just gonna make the thing.
The
And
pandemic helped. I mean, we were stuck
the
inside.
pandemic, yes, the pandemic
That
helped.
year was when you started. Was like, well, we're not going anywhere, so I better
Yeah,
start my comic.
might as well do it. And I think it kind of goes back to that list we were talking about, the four
Yeah.
points where it's like just make your comic, make it anyways. Like I think I was at the point where I'm like, just make it anyway. Even if it doesn't get published, even if it doesn't go anywhere, you got to at least do it and do what you can
Hmm.
before your time is up, right? Like no
I
regrets.
think you're
Yeah.
I think that's right. I think that's so
Hmm.
true. And I think like even some of the greats like Jack Kirby, for instance,
Hmm.
like unfortunately he didn't even get a chance to do things 100% his way.
No, no.
Um, but he still did things anyway. And so in a lot of ways, like being a creator today is probably a little bit better than it was back
Yes.
then, and you may not have the same like traction or the same widespread awareness of your work like Jack Kirby because you don't have a Stan Lee kind of
Mhm.
next to you being the salesman slash also
Yeah.
taking credit for almost all of your work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But like,
Yeah.
you've got nowadays you've got the tools to try and make it happen. And I always look at like creators like Jeff Smith, as like
Mhm.
these real heroes. And I'm sure other people do too, where they
Hmm.
just like you just said, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to
Yeah.
just
This
Hmm.
do it.
doesn't exist. nobody believes, like, that seeing is believing. A lot of people don't believe that a thing can be done until you've done it.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people looked at Bone and was like, what do you mean you're trying to merge like Mickey Mouse and Lord of the Rings? Like, that's crazy. And then he did it, and we're all like, what?
Wow.
Yeah. It worked, and it worked beautifully.
Yeah, like like other people didn't see the vision until he had completed it enough to be like, here it is. See if you like it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, history has so many, like, how many times in history have there been people who are just doing what they're doing, and people are always telling them, nah, that's not how you do things. That's not going to work. You know,
Steve Jobs didn't care that people didn't want tablets. He made the tablet, and now everyone wants a tablet.
Right? It's like, yeah, people don't know what they want until they see it.
It's there, yeah.
People only want the success story.
Yeah.
Forget where I heard it.
Yeah.
That thing of the like the two types of pain, where it's like the pain of discipline or the pain of regret.
Yeah.
It's just like, which one do you want to feel?
Oh, the pain of discipline. And
Yes.
I don't want regrets if I can avoid it.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. It hurts on a different level for sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I guess this does kind of touch on my question, which is, you know, if you have any, you know, advice for folks. I guess we're kind of touching on that already. Like, you know, for inspiring creatives out there who are in similar positions as us. Like, if you have any kind of advice. But yeah, like, if there's any more advice,
Yeah, so this is
is there
something
anything? Yeah.
I brought up at our brunch the other day, which is, especially if you're going to be in it for the long haul, if you're going to be making comics for decades, your audience is going to shift. Not only is your work going to shift, but your audience is going to shift with you with every decade of your life. Because the people who are attracted to your work as teenagers may not be the same people who like your work in your 20s, and might not be the same audience you have in your 30s. So just don't be attached to, if something's working, it'll work forever, because it won't. So it will work for a brief period of time, but you've got to sort of go with the flow of change. Like, maybe the platform you're working on right now, that won't be the forever platform. Maybe there is no forever platform. Maybe you do have to hop from platform to platform as you know, things keep changing. And same with the technology. Maybe a technology changes. You've got to upgrade your computer. You've got to get a new tablet. You've got to get new software. Like, it's just know that, like, things are gonna constantly change. So enjoy, if something works for you right now, enjoy it for as long as possible. You have to change.
That's great advice. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Well said. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Yeah.
I would also say, like, honestly, just if we kind of went back, we were talking about it earlier, like, don't pull from life, because yes, that's definitely, no matter what you're doing, be it comics, writing, music, drawing, you name it, like, pulling from your own life is what's going to make it unique. But at the same time, I always want to tell people, don't worry about, like, trying to be original in a you know, like, I think my biggest conundrum in life was, like, the obsession of, this has really got to stand out from everything else. And I think the more you try to do that, it's like, I think the more you disconnect yourself from yourself, right? You're trying so hard to be unique and original that it's like, if that becomes your only,
it becomes an obsession.
Yes.
Like, I think of it like you're driving a road. Like, say I'm driving across Canada from BC to like Prince Edward Island. Like, there's the main road you need to be on, but there's all these side roads. There's all these detours. And every time you have a thought that is sort of ego-based in your identity, like, oh, like, how can I be better? Or how can I get more views? Or how can, you know, like Matt, what were you saying earlier? How can my work be the most original of all, right?
Yes.
Every time you have that kind of thought, that is a side road. And you're off the main road you're supposed to be on to get to your destination. And it just takes you into a ditch, really.
Well, you got to do what inspires you, right? Like, even with Quest for Hire, like, for me, I can't help but pull in those inspirations of like old school 90s anime or old 90s cartoons that I grew up with as a kid, video games, other graphic novels, right? Like I'm going to draw parallels and people are going to make those parallels. Take that as a compliment because I know some people, not all, but there are people who definitely get discouraged when they feel like their work, because I do think, I don't know if people take it the wrong way, but it's
everyone
like
has their unique interests. Like you have, like some people like, you know, Jurassic Park, and they want to combine it with something else. Like
they want to make Billy and the Chromosaurus. You know?
So like you have your weird amalgamation cluster of interests, and nobody else is going to have that weird cluster of interests.
Yes.
It's very hard. It's very lonely if you think, oh, I'm the only person on the planet that has this particular cluster of interests.
Yeah.
But that's also the thing that makes you unique without having to think about it. Like your cluster of interests is what's going to make your work unique to you without you really having to think too hard about it.
And also finding your group as well, right?
Yeah. And back to like the road metaphor. So any thought or question pertaining to your egoic sense of identity, how can I be the greatest, will take you into a ditch. But every time you focus on the art, so you take yourself, your ego out of it, you're in the flow and it's just about your art. You're like, okay, what does the story need? What are the characters saying? Every time the question or the thought pertains to what is the art telling me? What do I need to channel right now to do for the next chapter or the next plot line? Anytime you're focused on a question pertaining to the art, that's when you're on the main road going to your destination.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's really good advice.
Yeah.
Could not agree more. Yeah. And James, do you have anything, any words of advice or, you know,
Gosh,
cautionary?
yeah, you guys kind of hit the nail on the head. I would say something that's worked for me, and it was something I was touching on earlier. If you're finding it hard to be accountable for yourself, find people to be accountable for you.
Outsource it.
Outsource it. And have a that has your back, and it's just like, we'll help you out if you need it, or just be like, hey, how are these things going? Just kind of give you that little bit of a push. And I would say also too, one thing I say, because I do some classes every once in a while, is, I think you guys touched on this earlier, but draw what interests you. Honestly, like let's say you're super into, I don't know, chairs.
Yeah.
They exist.
Just draw like a ton of chairs. Go nuts. Go ham. And
be the best chair designer in the world.
Exactly. Go ham on chairs. And then
yes,
from that, you will naturally branch out into other things, because it's just like, all right, now I want to draw this chair beside this table. And then you're going to start to learn tables. And then from there, you're going to start to learn rooms and things and people sitting in them. So don't be ashamed of what you want to draw. Just do it. Follow that fire.
Love it.
Yeah, like even if you just want to stick at chairs, like you could draw chairs made out of wood. You could draw chairs made out of metal. You could draw
best goddamn chair artist in the world.
Yeah, you could draw chairs based off of like fantasy chairs, like science fiction chairs, based on sound wave. Like, you could take it in any direction. So
that person must exist somewhere. That person,
for sure.
My man James.
I've heard enough stories of
from the
people who love shoes, love drawing shoes, love designing shoes. Their job is to design shoes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That advice
well said,
can work
James.
for
Well
just
said.
about anything.
Yep.
Yeah. That's awesome, James. Thank you so much for that.
Oh,
yeah. And like James invited us to give a talk at one of his classes. And a piece of advice I remember we gave at that talk is just to make friends with other artists, even if they do things that are completely different from you. So, for example, I work in like primarily slice of life and romance. I know people who are primarily horror artists. I never read their work because horror is not my genre. But if somebody ever comes to me being like, can you draw this horror thing? I'd be like, oh, I know an artist who can do that. And I can recommend people, right? So like I had someone come to me be like, oh, can you draw this? And I'm like, oh, I'm not the person you want. That's not my expertise, but James will draw that. Like he's good at that. Right. And so like
absolutely
just knowing people who do, you know, different work work that you'd never do, that you're not interested in, it helps to know them and be friends with them anyway. Like, you don't need your friends to like your art. That's a big thing. Some people are very upset when their friends don't like what they're making. Your friends don't have to like what you're making, but they need to know what you're making.
It's true.
Right? Because if they ever come across somebody who would like what you're making, then they can make that recommendation. So,
my gosh. Yeah, that is so true. My gosh.
Yeah.
It's just a room full of wise people here.
We've been at it for a while.
I'm still carving my walking stick, but it's coming along. The sage walking stick. Yeah.
The stage walking stick.
You'll be like, I'll be an old man and I'll still be making comics.
That's the dream.
that is the dream. Yeah. Hopefully, right?
Yeah.
As morbid as it sounds, you'll all find us just, when our time comes, we'll all just, drop dead on our desk, artist desk, I heard that once from someone. It's like, you'll find me dead at my artist desk at like 90 or something.
Yeah, just right. Yeah, that's the ideal, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That's the conviction. Like, you have to know, like, what do I want out of my life? What do I want to do forever? And maybe some people don't have something like that. Maybe they don't know what they want to do forever, and that's okay too. So I think it comes down to just the matter of following your faith, following your curiosity, following your love, rather than following fear or following anxiety. Because there's people who make decisions based on fear and anxiety, where like, oh, will people like me? Oh, will I be popular? Oh, will I be liked? If I draw this thing, will people like me more if I draw this thing? If I draw lots of boobs, will people like me? Like, it's
probably.
If you're always doing it out of fear, it doesn't matter. Like, it's not really gonna go anywhere. Whereas I find if you're doing it from, oh, I'm curious, I want to teach myself how to draw hands because I don't know how to draw hands. Like, I'm curious about how, or I just like things. I like ponies. I'm just going to draw lots of ponies. If you do it from that place, it'll you are the product. You are the art. Like, when you do that, like, you grow into a better person, and then as you keep following, making decisions from that place, you become a cooler and cooler person, really. A more confident person, because you just taught yourself a ton more skills every time. Because you're like, oh, I learned this skill. Can I learn this one now? And then you just keep adding tools to your tool belt.
Yes.
That's so true.
Until you become
that's
Batman.
a really we're at the utility belt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, because I feel like I've been in conversations with some folks where, like, I'll be talking a little bit about my interests and how, like, I've always, in a way, known what I wanted to do. Like, I was drawing since I was little, so, like, I feel like I always knew to some degree that I was going to be, either a comic artist or animator or designer. It was one of those things, probably more so comics. And I've had friends that kind of tell me, oh, Sho, it's weird. I'm like, is it? Oh, I didn't know. Yeah, like, it's weird because, like, it seems like you've known who you were and knew what you wanted to do at a very early age and always knew that. And I was like, oh, you don't have that? And they're like, no. Like, most
That's
of the time,
very true.
I have no idea what I want to focus my efforts and my attention and my skill towards, right? Like, and that was an interesting kind of, like, revelation for me, where it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
right.
not everyone has that.
Yeah, everyone's got sort of a different journey, to some degree. And not everyone has that same, I guess, for lack of a better term, sense of clarity. And often can feel a little bit lost. And I think there's something to that too. I think there's something,
for sure,
like a person feeling lost could feel, could eventually find their passion and be, like
there are stories of that, absolutely.
Right, and like just be a real success. But I just thought that was interesting.
Everyone's life path is unique to them. Right. Some people, quote unquote, find material success at a very young age. Some people find it when they're 80, like at their old age. Right. Everyone's life path diverges, like, so differently once you're out of school. That
how many authors are there, that, like, they had completely different career paths prior to.
Well, yeah.
Right.
I'm thinking about Osamu Tezuka, who did
Mhm.
Astro Boy, and you know,
Mhm.
the godfather of manga, and how he was like trained in medicine and being a doctor. And I
Yes.
don't
The
know the
creator
specifics,
of
but like,
Sailor Moon was like a pharmacist or trained in pharmacy or something like that.
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then they go on to do
Yeah.
amazing manga. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
wild.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Well, a lot of the
yeah,
times, like parents are concerned about, is my child going to be safe in this world? And part of being safe in this world is economically safe. Are you going to have a good, steady job? And so a lot of artists are pushed into be a doctor, do this
Mhm.
because the money is safe. And so they'll do the degree, they'll get their biology degree, and then they'll realize I don't actually want to do this. I was doing this just to please mom and dad. But mom and dad
Yeah,
aren't going to
yeah.
be around forever. And eventually, like, I think I'll be pretty miserable. So I think I'll actually do what I actually want. And it takes some people longer to wake up
yeah,
to breaking out of the matrix of what, the expectations placed on them from their family, to be like, okay,
yeah.
well, let me ask my soul. Let me ask, like, my inner child, what
Mhm.
does it want?
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
finally making decisions from that place.
Yeah, it's definitely something to kind of hope you come across or discover on your own,
Yeah.
sooner than later. But then again, it's also doesn't really matter as long as you get there, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and
And
that's
Some people,
fascinating.
they don't always find it, but I think a lot of people at the end of the day, like they take the time and they end up finding what they really want to do, and I hope that for everybody, but I know
Yeah, me
sometimes
too.
it's hard, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like as hard as
Mhm.
it is to be an illustrator, cartoonist, a freelance illustrator, where the jobs are thin and the pay is bad, and
I wouldn't
Yeah.
trade
yeah.
it. I wouldn't
Being
trade
a
it,
wouldn't trade it for the world, right? Yeah,
No,
because
no.
Yeah.
like, you know, yeah. No, I think that's beautiful, personally.
Yeah. A
Um,
great analogy that I got from reading Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. And she got this from another artist. So she will reference who the original person who said this quote was. But she describes every career as having a shit sandwich that you have to eat.
Mhm.
And you know this, right?
I
And
know this
so
one. Yeah.
you have to decide what shit sandwich you're willing to eat, because
Yes.
everything comes with shit, but the shit is different at each industry, and each industry is different, right? So if you're
Yes.
going to be an artist, if you're going to be freelance, illustrator, cartoonist, whatever, the shit sandwich that comes along with that is the shitty pay and like the lack of recognition, and then just the
Mhm.
jobs security is really low. Like all of that is the shit that comes with it. And if you love it enough to eat that shit sandwich, that's the shit sandwich you've chosen. Whereas other
Yes.
people, are willing to put up with a different shit sandwich. Like, they have the security pay, they have the medical, insurance, like they have all
But
of
maybe they're
that,
not as happy.
but they're
Yeah.
willing to put up with, a different type of shit to
Yes.
have that
yeah,
type of life. So
Yes. That's
yeah, so
true.
it's you pick your shit, basically.
that's
Nope, that's a good way to put
fantastic.
it.
Yeah,
That's a
because
great way to put it.
there's
Yeah,
no industry that doesn't have any shit that comes with it. Like there's no bad parts. It's all good. It just doesn't
yeah,
exist.
Mhm.
Like
yeah.
if you're a farmer, you're gonna have to shovel horse manure. Like you're gonna have to deal with something that people will
Yeah,
think of as shitty.
yeah,
But if you love it enough, you don't mind it. Like
yeah,
Yes.
you don't mind picking up dog poop if you love your dog. Like
yeah, yeah,
some
yeah,
people would hate that. That's their worst nightmare.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So
100%. Yeah. In fact,
if you love babies, you won't mind babies crying, because
yeah. There you
that's the
go.
shit you've
Mhm.
Right.
decided that you'll take on.
Yeah. Right. We all have a choice
Yeah.
about which shit sandwich we want
Mhm.
to eat.
Yeah.
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 Maybe
Exactly.
that'll be my clickbait title for this episode. Shit
Right.
sandwich.
Are you gonna
Don't
draw
do
that?
on it.
Are you gonna?
Which one will you eat?
Yeah, which one will you eat?
Oh my
Exactly.
goodness! You just have show just like perfectly placing like a illustrated sandwich or something like.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Leaves coming
Yeah.
out of it with some
Yeah.
like moldy cheese.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like people who work in the food business, for example, they see so much food go to waste. Like that's just part of the industry, because you can't.
Oh
It's
yeah.
not safe to serve people food that somebody else left behind and ate. Like you have to throw it out if
Mhm.
they didn't finish it. It's so much food
Mhm.
waste.
Yeah.
And yeah, like everyone knows working in emergency as a nurse or a doctor, like you deal with people on the worst day of their lives.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
Yeah.
like it is shitty. Like that just comes with the job, and you have to love the job enough that the idea of, I'm here to help people at the lowest point of their lives. You have to love that enough to put up with the shit.
Yeah, well, and hopefully you get paid well enough,
Hopefully, but there are some jobs that are undervalued, and that undervalued is also part of the shit. Like you can definitely work to change that. We can go on strike. Like there's ways around it where you can improve working conditions, but working conditions will never ever be 100% shit free.
It's true. Yeah, that's an unfortunate reality for sure.
Yeah, that's such free thing as shit-free conditions for any type of work.
Well, that's funny. Well, let's see. I don't want to end the episode on a shitty note here, but like maybe we could chat quickly about like some of maybe books or comics that you might want to recommend to folks. If you guys have any favorites of your own, or books or comics that have inspired you guys and your work. Is there anything? Yeah, are there any books that
how about you, James? Yeah, how about you, James? Did you want to go first?
Yeah.
Books
yeah,
and
like
comics.
favorite books or
Oh God.
I know it's I put you on the spot there.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite? It doesn't have to be the favorite, but like at least a favorite or something. Like a cool manga. You like Gundam, from what I understand.
Oh yeah,
right?
he loves Gundam.
Funny, I love Gundam so much, but I actually don't have too many of the mangas.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah. No, but I do love all those like mechanical designs and stuff. Actually, that kind of got my brain rolling a little bit. I have a lot of like video game concept art books, which I love.
Oh. Yes.
Yeah, like for example, one of my favorite ones is one of the games I really like is called Armored Core. And it's all about like robots.
I know that.
Yeah, and one of those books is like they go into like every piece and just like all the details and like all like the rivets and the mechanical things and just like having like exploded versions of each of the parts and just like how they're all laid out. It's just nuts how much like work goes into those, and it's like seeing them all come back together. And yeah, so I love a lot of my mechanical art books. So I would say find a game you like and just like dive into it. Oh, another good one. Unfortunately, actually, the artist for it just recently passed away.
Oh no.
Yeah, but one of my favorite video games of all time was Half-Life 2, and the main
No way.
one of the main artists for it, Victor Antonov, just recently passed away. But he's a phenomenal concept artist. The book Half-Life 2 Raising the Bar is just an incredible read, and it also just goes into so much behind the scenes for Half-Life, the games, and all like the different concept arts and artists they had over the year. Like beyond Victor, there's a ton of other artists that like helped contribute to it, and just like it's funny to see just like how it comes just from like its early conception to its finality, like in game, and just how much gets left on like the cutting room floor and all that. So
yeah, I like a lot of the behind the scenes kind of books.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the Pixar books, and even like the Hayao Miyazaki books, and I imagine video games too just have an enormous amount of material through the process, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess from
awesome.
maybe a movie recommendation.
Oh yeah, sure.
Nothing wrong with that. No?
My favorite movie is an anime feature called Redline. It is just 7 years.
I know it.
Oh God, it's so good. It's just like 7 years of beautiful, just hand-drawn animation, just exquisite coloring, exquisite fun music.
Yeah.
And I just want to rent out a theater for like my birthday one year.
I was going to say that. I was like, I'm waiting for that, man. Yeah.
I'm there. If you send me an invite, I'd love to be there.
You're invited for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, that
you got to do it before
fantastic.
You're 40, man.
I love it so much.
We just love animated content in general because we know that it's like hand drawn and it's designed and just the artistry that goes into animation. We really appreciate.
Well, that
Yeah.
makes sense because, like, yeah, the look of your books, like the
Mhm.
characters and the
Yeah.
designs and the worlds, they're very animated, inspired. If I'm right, is that fair to
Oh,
say?
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
You
yeah.
can
Yeah.
see the 90s anime inspiration. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
great, and one of my favorite eras of anime.
Yeah.
Yes, likewise.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're all
Back
just a
when they
bunch of
weren't
oldies,
as
but
concerned with censorship because they weren't like the animation and the stories coming out of Japan at the time, they weren't really designed for an international audience.
Mhm.
They were still thinking like, oh yeah, this is only going to be local, and they were
Yeah.
just so experimental with it. They didn't expect it to blow up overseas. It was just
Mhm.
a surprise, like, oh, people in Spain really like this, or people in Brazil love
Yeah.
this for some reason.
Yeah, yeah,
People in
Mhm.
Canada
yeah.
like this.
Oh, heck yeah. We
Yeah,
were
heck
starving
yeah.
for that,
Yeah,
right?
so like this is one of my favorite books. It's by Kaoru Mori. It's called A Bride's Story, and it takes place in like the early 1900s, Silk Road, Mongolia, and it like appeals to me because I studied anthropology. Like I really like the detail that she goes in to show what life is like. For example, in this book, like she shows wood carving. So you can see like the detailed process of this kid learning
Oh, yeah.
from a master wood carver how to do these like traditional designs. Like that's his hyperfixation, and he makes his friend with this old man who teaches him like, oh, becomes his
Wow.
apprentice in how to carve wood.
Beautiful.
So
Yeah.
she goes through like different
Yeah.
aspects of life, from farming to like carpets and weaving and embroidery. So yeah, it's just follows the life of this tribe and this couples across different villages and just across central like Mongolia area. And there's an anthropologist in there too who also goes from village to village, and that's how the story kind of connects them, the different
Oh, that's
brides.
awesome.
Yeah, so like
Well,
it's just the detail of it, like when she draws animals, like the most recent one, I think there's hunting in it. Let's see her, because her brother, they come from a tribe that is less sedentary. There's a term for it, but I don't remember it right now. But she loves,
oh,
yeah,
like
nomadic,
nomadic?
exactly, yeah. So like they
Mhm.
have like a horse racing tradition, and so it's just exploring all of that.
Oh, that's
Yeah, it's
Yes.
very,
fantastic.
very
Yeah, yeah,
beautiful
yeah.
work.
Yeah.
And it's heavily
Yeah.
researched too. So
Mhm.
yeah, like
Mhm.
just the
That's awesome.
detail in the outfits.
Oh my gosh,
They're
yeah.
in a yurt. Yeah,
That's a beautiful cover.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely check it out, show when you get a
Mhm.
chance. The art alone.
The art alone is
Sure.
gorgeous. Yeah,
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, obviously, yeah. Sure.
yeah. She
Wow.
just that was what the artist decided. Like she used to study it in college, and she's like, I just really like this culture here, and I'm gonna show the beauty of it to the world.
Well, there you go. There's a great example right there of
Mhm.
just like someone having a strong interest in
Yeah,
something,
and just
special
rolling
to
with it.
them
Yeah.
and rolling with it, and thus comes this wonderful,
Mhm.
special book or a series, right?
Yeah,
So,
they're at
yeah.
14 volumes right now, but it's
Wow.
ongoing. She makes about a book a year, or a book every a year and a half.
Well, no wonder the art is fantastic.
Yeah. And
Um,
Matt, is there a book you want to share? You're currently reading Amulet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple. So definitely, like, yeah, Amulet.
yeah.
Highly recommend.
Amulet.
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
I always saw this in the bookstores, but by the time it really caught my attention, I know the final one was coming out, so I just waited, and we bought the box set, and yeah, I'm pretty hooked.
Mhm.
It's not only is it a good story, and I love the artwork. I can't do it justice showing it on the
Oh,
video
yeah, I
here.
know.
I know. Like
Yeah.
I guess in the editing
Yeah.
process we'll figure that out. But
Sure, yeah, or
yeah,
I could share links to the book, for folks
Yeah,
to
yeah.
that
see,
too. Yeah.
and,
I
if
am hoping to
people
see it animated someday. Like I really hope to see
Mhm,
Amulet
mhm.
on as an animated TV series or as a movie
yeah,
someday. Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
and
But I
I
highly
I do
oh,
know
go
that
ahead, show. Yeah.
the books are available at the Calgary Public Library. They often
Yes.
carry quite a few of
Mm.
those. So
Yeah.
for those
Oh,
out
good.
there, if they can't afford to buy it, or
Yes.
for whatever reason,
Go to
definitely
the
check out
library.
your public
Yes.
library, and they'll have volumes of Amulet for you
Most
to
school
read.
library carry them too.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
no, it's a beautiful series so far. I'm really hooked into it, and I'm getting close to the halfway point of finishing the story. Book 4, I think, and yeah, I just can't it's a hard one to put down for sure. It's right up there with the likes of Jeff Smith's Bone. So, like I said, it's where I hope to be one day among the greats, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally
Another
agree.
one. Yeah, it's beautiful stuff. Another one that I'm currently reading, as you guys, all of you know, I am a huge Transformers nerd. Love my my robots and
No
sets.
way.
Pardon?
No way.
No,
way.
really?
It's not like you have a collection of Transformers up here.
Oh my god, yes.
I have my own.
I remember those photos. Oh, beautiful. Oh.
Yeah.
But
Anyway.
if anybody out there, I recommend it to you guys as well. The new Skybound Transformer comics are phenomenal.
Oh yeah, can confirm.
You've read some of them, hey? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I believe it's the artist is Warren. Daniel Warren, right?
Daniel Warren Johnson. Yes. Daniel Warren Johnson. He also did Murder Falcon and Extremity and a whole bunch of other titles. Yeah.
His inks, like the I don't know, just the style is just it just works perfectly. But it's a really great series. As far as being like I said, a Transformer nerd, I can highly recommend it, even for like newcomers who maybe don't dabble in the franchise at all.
Not into the lore or don't know about the lore too much. Yeah.
Well, and the beauty about that series is that it doesn't hit you with anything heavy. Like you can go into it and it plays things very simple. But I think that's what makes it so strong, right? It's not an overly convoluted story.
It's accessible to just about anyone.
Very accessible, yes. So highly recommend. And yeah, other than that, it's mostly just been it's just been getting through that. Just picked up Usagi.
Yeah, I'm also following Usagi.
I mean, you can't go wrong with Usagi, right? And I can't do it.
Yeah.
They're colored now, hey?
Yeah, they are.
They're actually colored.
They look great.
Yes. I mean, I love his black.
They're
and
getting
white
the
stuff
bone
too,
scholastic treatment.
Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Stan.
I could go on.
Yeah, because Stan Sakai, like he's been around for quite a long time too, right? Like just maybe
phenomenal.
About as long as Jeff Smith, maybe around the same time, or maybe even before. I don't know for sure, but they've been around a long time.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll never forget the time I met him at our local expo, and that was my little kid moment, despite being in my 20s at the time. And I was just like, "Oh, I'm a big fan. Can you sign my
book, please?"
I'm sure I sounded that way too when I was at Ohio. And I was at the CXC Comics the Cartoonist Festival. And that was the first year that it was running, and Jeff Smith, he's the founder and leader, I think, and he was there tabling, and I had a chance to meet him and shake his hand in person, and he's such a nice guy, and you could tell that he's just legit, because like his hand was in a sling or in one of those the brace, because
that's
like,
also the shit that comes with being an artist.
Battle scars.
I'm doing this for
years.
years.
Battle scars. Yes, absolutely.
It's like poor Togashi and his back issues.
Take care of your hands, folks, and get a good chair.
That's right. Yeah,
I need a good chair right now, because I've definitely been
get that back support.
Yeah,
we could have another episode where it's just all about pain, just like physical pain from drawing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we could
sound like we're old.
Repetitive strain injury. Yeah, how to avoid it and remember to stretch and set a timer.
Let me tell you about this shoulder injury, kid. Back in the trenches.
Just because you can pull an all-nighter doesn't mean you can do it decades later.
Right. Yeah.
Can't do it forever. Do it for a brief period. We can't do it forever.
Yeah. You end up paying for it.
Yes, absolutely.
You will end up paying for it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask, Sho, is there anything right now you're reading?
Now?
Yeah.
Actually, right now there's a book that I just picked up called The Last Delivery by Evan Dom, and he's a cartoonist. He's the cartoonist behind Rice Boy If you've heard of that comic,
Nice.
Rice Boy, he's been doing web comics for years.
Right. Okay.
And he and posting his pages on his own website, and I think now Webtoons. Anyway, he released a new story, a standalone graphic novel called The Last Delivery, about this this delivery boy, or just this delivery man, is a creature that looks a bit like a turtle. And
Okay.
he's tasked with delivering this package to this giant mansion that is a dangerous, like, labyrinth of like
Haunted mansion.
Okay.
like mystery and like
Uh-huh.
strange occurrences and like strange people and like, you know, odd little rituals happening, and you're not quite sure if he's going to make it out of there or if he can deliver this last package in, you know, in one piece. And I haven't finished it yet, but it's really intriguing, and it's just, it doesn't really stick to any like specific genre in terms of
Okay.
fiction. Like, it's
Yeah.
not exactly fantasy, like with elves or anything like that, or it's not sci-fi. I feel like Evan has found a way to create a fantasy
Magical
that is,
realism.
yeah, potentially magical realism, but it's done through his own lens. So like a lot of his own magic isms are his own. Like it's
Yeah.
I don't know, it's
Wow.
interesting. Yeah, it's really hard to pin down as any one specific genre other than fiction. It's like
Yeah.
a surreal, almost surreal to some degree even.
I always like to call those like a place out of time.
Yeah.
Personally, those are my favorite genres as well, where you can't really. It feels like they're lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also because like there aren't any humans, so there aren't any creatures that are recognizable. Like they kind of vaguely look like animals that we're aware of, but they're not quite, which is kind of interesting to me. It's this in between place that I think is really unique. So
nice.
Yeah, I'd recommend that one. That one's brand new, and it's
Have you
really
read
quite
The
interesting.
Arrival? The Arrival by Sean
Sean Tan?
Yeah, similar, like very
I love
surreal.
that book.
Yeah, it's got
Yeah.
no words in it, but the pictures tell like an amazing
Beautiful
story.
Yeah. I'm slowly acquiring a big list of
Right.
wordless
Stuff to read,
wordless
Yes.
books. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I know
So-
you show that's your jam, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it is. Yeah, 100%. It's one of those things where like I you know, I've had some friends in the past tell me, you know, like kind of essentially like discouraging me to do it, you know, and like, why are you doing wordless comics? And it's like, well, I have a fascination with like the animated shorts that came from Pixar. Those appeal, sometimes that appealed to me more than the actual feature film with like dialogue. I really like the short films that didn't have any dialogue, and it just it was able to tell a succinct story with no words, and I think that's truly fascinating to me.
I think there's something
Absolutely, yeah.
universal. There's something universal about the visual language where you don't need language, you know, to tell the story. You can have this wordless story really globally, like anywhere. You could show it to anyone in any country and they would get the story. And I
there's
think
a beauty to that for sure.
Yeah, there's a beautiful to that universality of it.
Yeah, that's exactly. There's something about that it kind of like breaks that barrier of language. Even though language is a bridge, it can sometimes be a barrier between cultures.
Yes.
And it's just fascinating that to not have words almost removes that barrier.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think there's real value in exploring that, and that's why I want to dedicate a lot of my time to, you know, experimenting with wordless storytelling. And it's funny because like a friend once tell me like, you know, like, are you gonna make wordless comics? Like, I would literally pay less to you know, to buy a wordless comic because it has no words. And I thought that statement was like kind of bizarre, because it was like it just he automatically attached a lesser value to a book because it didn't have any words. And I think society has a tendency to do that.
They do, yeah.
They do, yes, absolutely, yeah.
And that made me want to do it more. That made me want to go, you know what? No, F you, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
This has just as much value as, you know, any Shakespearean book, in my opinion.
I never get that mindset.
Yeah.
It's so close-minded. Like,
Yeah. Anyway, it's one of those things where it's like, it just gave me more fuel. So like,
Yeah,
you know,
I feel like there's something very avant-garde about comics in general as an art form. Like I feel like the art form in general pushes boundaries more than a lot of other art forms can.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're literally creating like visual language that did not exist before we put it into the world. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, there's something really special about that.
Yeah,
Isn't
there's
there?
something really special
Indeed.
about that.
Yeah.
And a lot of other media like learns, like especially animation, a lot of animation storyboarding takes ideas from comic paneling and like comic stories. And I just feel like we're the breeding grounds for like exploring, you know, what hasn't been explored before.
Yes.
And I
yeah.
think that's what makes it so challenging to articulate to other people, because other people again only like the familiar. Like they like Mickey Mouse because they know Mickey Mouse exists. They like what's familiar. And what's interesting about being an indie comic creator is you are literally working in the realm of the unknown. Like that's it's like, yeah, like I want to do this thing that most people can't connect to or resonate to because it literally does not exist in this universe, in this reality yet. Right? It's being channeled through me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a
And like
contract with
eventually
the
people
idea to bring it into this world.
exactly. And like eventually people will connect to those things to people that
Yeah,
it reaches,
exactly.
right? So
Yes.
yeah, no, that's totally true.
Yeah.
Makes a whole lot of sense. Guys, I could talk about all this sort of stuff for
I know.
for
We could
hours.
go
This
late
is
into the night.
fantastic.
It's already dark
Save it for
outside.
episode 2.
Yeah. I know,
Absolutely.
right? This is fantastic. Thanks again,
Yes,
guys,
yeah.
for being a part of this and
Well, thank you.
helping me launch
Yeah.
the first episode of this. And yay! And I'm truly grateful. This has been a wonderful time. And if you guys don't mind sharing, where can people find you? You know, like socials and website.
Usually I just post now on just Blue Sky and Instagram at the moment because, again, social media landscape is all over the place. So Matt Drawberry at Blue Sky, and I believe I also go by.
I think it's just Strawberry with a capital
Is
D.
it?
At
Yes.
Strawberry.bluesky BKSK.
They'll know the.
They'll know.
Yeah.
I'll put the link in
Strawberry.
the description too. So
for sure. And then it I know for sure it goes by Matt Drawberry.
On your
somebody
Instagram.
else. Yeah, on Instagram. Yeah. And that's pretty much it for now.
Yeah, so on Blue Sky, I'm just ACHIRU, ACHIRU. But on Instagram, I'm ACHIRU.et.al, at al being like my characters. Yeah, because I think somebody else was just ACHIRU.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, and the
Bastards
books.
took it first.
Yeah, so go ahead.
Yeah, my website is ACHIRU.com, so that's where you can find my
Right.
books if you go to the shop.
Yeah, that's where you can find Quest for Hire and everything
And
else.
the Mann and Lucky Channel, and Dream, which is my art book, and The Myth of Eros and Psyche, which is my first graphic novel.
Yeah, it's a great website. Go check it out. There's a lot of great content on there. Yeah, highly recommend.
We have so many books now.
Yeah,
then,
so many books
We
that
have
need
so
reading.
many books now, yeah.
And same for me, same as Matt. Pretty much just Instagram and Blue Sky. Just Pantuso, PANT00Z. And at those socials, so you can find me drawing robots.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the robots.
Love your robots, man.
Thank you.
This was fun. I really enjoyed this. Thank you, Sho. 10 times. I must have said absolutely at least 10 times in this entire podcast.
Yeah, I'm sure I've said, what have I said? I've said, I don't know. I've said, yes, that sounds right. Or like,
Oh, man. Yeah.
I agree.
I agree. Yeah.
And we all have our mannerisms. Yeah.
Yeah.